Hello, hashtaggers. It's another wonderful Wednesday from Lagos, Nigeria, and today's discussion is one that touches the heart and the soul. We're getting deeper into the mental health and, of course, the general well being of our athletes. And we're doing that with a lady who is the identity coach. I love the fact that there's a word coach in there because of the sport connotations. Yetunde, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. Off the bat, I'm pretty sure people are wondering, what is an identity coach? What do you do?
I work with people I on their identity, but beyond that, it's really about discovering and harnessing your gifting, your talents, your skills, your abilities, and for some people, that translates to also monetizing them.
What are some of the highlights of your work? Because I can only imagine you must work with all walks of life, right?
The highlights, I think for me, it's when the first time you meet someone, and then you actually see them transit and translate, and you begin to wonder, wow, is this the same person? So for me, that is like a major highlight, and I say that it happens with every person that I work with. So that's what fills my tummy.
And, you talking about journeys as well, you've had your own personal journey, a lot of growth, which now led you to come up with this concept of a conference. I'm not going to spill the bag. Tell us about the Recall Conference.
That's a conference for men. I'm always intrigued by the other side. And so for me, the other side really is men. Why, you have, I believe that the interventions can never be enough for women, really, never. But for the men, it's like we've tilted too much to one side, and then these people have become the endangered species. That's what I call them.
And this naturally brings me to our topic of the day. Of course, hashtag is about sports. And when we think of athletes, they're almost the natural alpha male figures of society.
Yeah.
And so it's rare when somebody like David Kettle, who's a hockey player, comes out and opens up about battling depression and, what he's been going through with his emotional and psychological well-being in such a macho world. And, they're part of these teams and you just feel like, ooh, bros, bros, bros. You work in the industry, but what was your first reaction to this story?
I just felt, first of all, relief that he could get to that point where he could talk about it. And I would say that it's such a blessing that he was able to talk about it, because you're not supposed to talk about those things really as a man. And the pressure, I mean, it's I can't even begin to imagine what that pressure is, because mental, social, even there's social pressure, there's a mental pressure, there's depression is real, and it happens to the best of us. And because you are in that place, it makes it more difficult for you to be able to say, oh, I'm going through this, because they probably just turn their heads and like, yeah.
You know what I want to find out? Just your own opinion, of course. We can't speak for his teammates and for his colleagues, but I wondered, on social media, you see an outpour of support for him and people saying this is brilliant. It's okay not to be okay, and we're glad he's looking for help. But back into the man's world where he still has to be macho. Do you think his teammates are going to receive this positively? Is he maybe going to be stigmatized or somehow treated differently by other men who feel like maybe he should have been a tougher man? You know what I mean?
This thing, this is how it goes. I find that people who stigmatize or pull down other people have themselves issues with themselves. And so sometimes they see a mirror and they can't accept that, okay, no, this is not who I am. And so they push that back at you like you are the one with the problem. But they are the ones with the problem. And so we cannot really say that he would not be stigmatized or he's going to be happy-go-lucky all the way. But what is that at least he found the courage to step up, and that would also help other people. And so, I think that David Kettle is good for people like this to speak up, so the other person doesn't think I'm the crazy one.
Based on the insights you've shared today, I know a lot of people are going to want to follow you on social media and engage with you. Where do we find you in the digital world?
Okay, on Instagram, I am Identity Coach. On Facebook, I'm Identity Coach 1. Twitter, well, I'm Identity Coach 1 as well.
This has been a very insightful conversation about mental health and, some of the struggles that athletes are going through that we don't usually allow them to go through in the public sphere. We throw it back to you in studio. What are your thoughts? Should this be a more public conversation, or should our athletes just still be macho, supermen, Kong taking over the world? Do we appreciate these revelations? From me in Lagos, it's Miss Vimbai for Kwese Sports. Until next time.